everyone, aka Vibe Nation. It's your boy JT. Predictions, and I'm always joined with um my BOY, Mr. Zach Saitek.
Yo, what's good, guys?
And and just like part one, we're back again with Paulie.
Howdy again.
Okay, so now after looking at nationals and looking at like the ARG results, and I believe there's an ARG today. Not sure how that went. What do you guys think should be hit from the meta to like make the meta more healthy? Like, is there anything you guys think should be banned or go to one?
I think there are two cards specifically that are ridiculously unhealthy and cater to the game's like absurdity, especially in the form of the Thunder Dragon deck. And I think those cards are Collapse Serpent and Lava Buster. Like, those are fucking absurd. Like,
yeah, those are the guard dragons.
The Guard Dragon engine definitely is the most powerful engine in the game right now. I would say for sure. Like that's the like most broken combo engine you want to put in a combo deck right now, basically. And I think there's multiple ways you can hit those. Like Zach said, the baby rats are huge. I think specifically they're going to end up banning one or two of the link between LB Pisty, Agripane, and Hieratic Seal. I think one to two of those four will get banned. Perhaps not both on the same list, but eventually, I think two of those cards will be banned.
So if you had like the past and like trends and things that they've done in the past, I think Thunder is gonna get massacred. I don't know if it's gonna get hit as bad as like Zoo got hit. Like Zoo just got wiped off the face of the earth. Like they lost Trident. They lost Rat. Rat went to one. They also lost Broad Bull. Like they just got like wiped out. Like they just lost so much. And when I look at Thunder, like the two cards that stick out to me the most are Levianeer and Saryuja. Like those cards are just so powerful. The fact that like you can special summon Levianeer
is insane.
Yeah, multiple times. You can only use the effect once, but like it's not like BLS where hey I use the effect and he bailered it and I can't attack with it. Like you can still attack with it, which is like just insane. So like also the fact
I feel like
go for it.
Oh, I was gonna say, I think Saryuja should definitely get a hit. I don't know if it should be banned. You shouldn't be able to consider and just refill your hand. That's kind of absurd. I feel like having one is like fine, maybe. I don't know that deck that well though. Like I don't even know how to fucking do the combos. So
I think if Saryuja and Levianeer went to one, the deck already has like somewhat a problem with consistency. So like I think if like those two cards went to one, it fixed a lot of the problem and wouldn't let you make like the god boards where like you can't even like draw your way out of it. So like I just feel like those two cards going to one would like fix like just a lot of the problem.
yeah, Paulie, what do you think on this?
Sorry, what?
Oh,
What do you think on
I love Paulie.
where Levianeer and Saryuja, where do they go?
Oh, I think you should absolutely be at one at minimum. Like it's just a card that, without question, should be. It doesn't have it's not have a once per turn clause on it. It's abusable. It should be at one. I think Levianeer is one of the. All three of those effects are insane. The fact that all three of those effects exist on the same card make it just one of the most powerful main that like one of the most powerful standalone cards that like main deck cards that exist currently. I think like I could easily see that getting limited to one as well.
What about the Thunder engine as itself? Like that doesn't need to get touched, does it?
I think the Thunder engine itself is very fair. Interestingly, like it's weird because like if you think the Thunder engine, that also kind of invokes to mind then the old pure Thunder deck, which did not seem very fair. So I could also see Colossus getting limited at some point.
It reminds me of Goki.
I don't think that needs to
It reminds me of Goki in that like the Thunder like engine itself was like Goki, where like, oh wow, the Thunders aren't very good, just like people said at the end how like the Goki cards themselves weren't very good. but then like you found out later that like the cards still allow you to do stuff like how you would make uh the heroic challenger guy with the Goki cards. So like I think Pure Thunder can still have a chance to like be really good. It's just like it's just it's gonna be very. I think it's just gonna be very different. Like I think Thunder could still be like the best combo deck because for some I don't know what the disconnect is with Orcus, like why it's not doing well. I don't know if it's just like very flimsy to hand traps or what it is. Um, but it just doesn't seem to do well against like any of the decks. Like it just seems to get knocked out really fast. Like if you look at Nats, it was just like it was just insane. Like the Orcus deck just got pushed around and like it like I don't know if just the great players aren't playing it or what, but it just I don't think you have to really hit anything in Orcus. Like the maximum thing you could probably hit is like the PK link, but then I feel like that's almost too much because like you stop the deck from what it's like trying to do, I guess.
Yeah. Are we good with Thunder? Is that like? Is there anything else that Thunder needs to like lose?
I think it's like just Levianeer,
I think
Yugioh.
it's Levianeer, Saryuja, and then something with the Guard Dragons.
Yeah.
Whether it's the Chaos Dragons or like the Lynx or whatever.
Yeah, cause like honestly, even if they just hit like Auger Pain, I think like the Guard Dragon stuff wouldn't be nearly as powerful.
Yeah. I think any one of the moving pieces in that could get hit and it would help a lot.
So moving on, what do you think they should hit in Salad, Polly?
Holy hello.
I hate to like advocate for hit like so I feel like we're in a state where the big four are relatively balanced with in regard to each other.
Okay.
So I almost feel like it's one of the times where we don't really need a list. That said, there are definitely certain elements in the Thunder Dragon deck, as we just talked about, that are like on their face unfair and should be hit. So it's like I guess that will require some hits to the other decks in order to balance it out. I feel like Striker, it just feels like an extremely flawed deck with one Kagari.
Yes.
Orcus, I guess we'll get to those other decks, but to answer your question, talking about Solid, I think, I don't know, I mean, hitting some of the copies of Gazelle anyway, Gazelle or like Circle, limiting Mining, would all be fair. Limiting Gazelle itself, as they have in the OCG, is probably a fair way to do it. I think Solid with one Gazelle is probably still a decent, relatively strong.
What do you think about hypothetically semi-limiting Sunlight Wolf?
That's interesting. That would be a very, very interesting way to hit this indirectly, or to hit the deck in a non-heavy-handed way. I actually really like the idea of something like that. It doesn't directly hurt the deck's primary combo, but it really hurts the deck's like recovery and grind game. But
because like that forces
but maybe not enough. Maybe not.
That forces you to like go for Jack Jaguar, right?
Yeah.
But like
you generally always end your turn one with two wolves back in your extra deck, so it wouldn't really hurt it that much. You'd only have one in the extra deck now. So on turn 2, you'd still be able to wolf Jack wolf and still do combo. I guess it would really only come up on your third turn, by which point any hit that only takes effect on the third turn probably isn't substantial enough to be relevant.
Okay.
So it's interesting. I think about it really be impactful at all.
Like I look at the meta.
You could also limit the Link 1. The Link 1 could get limited.
That would be interesting.
I think you can't really hit Bailey because it just hurts the deck too much. Like, but I guess they are getting a new Link 1. Yeah.
Yeah.
So potentially you could hit Baylinks in just a way to like force people to buy product and play the new Link 1. It takes like I think a level 4 or lower Cyburst or something like that. This is what Baylinks takes.
Also, like limiting Baylinks just like because like whenever I play against that deck, I feel like it's just immune to monster destruction just because of like the sheer amount of those fuckers that can just dump it. So like limiting Balinks, yeah, they still have the other Link 1, so they can like use it to facilitate their plays. But I feel like stopping that like immunity from destruction would be really good.
And like, I knew you were about to talk about Orcus, Polly. Like, it's just so crazy that the deck seems so powerful, yet like it's just like not like I've seen like results like around regionals, and like you'll see like a couple results around like ARGs and stuff. But it just doesn't seem to be doing like just good. Like it.
I mean, it got second at Knoxville, so that's pretty decent.
Yeah, but it was downplaying the deck though. You know.
Right. I do agree. Out of the big four, like as reflected by the more recent events, it's definitely the weakest of the big four.
Yeah. Also, I think Knoxville, the big thing was a lot of people just didn't know what the deck did a lot. Like they knew like what the deck like wanted to do. Like, oh yeah, get the mermaid special this, mermaid and special this, and then like go for Galatea. But they didn't know like a lot of people didn't know like what it did like after that. Like they didn't know like the interactions that like you could like do and things. I still don't even know all the interactions. But like I don't know.
I feel like Orcust is only not seeing the fucking success it could. I feel like the only reason Orcust isn't seeing like a ton of success is just because Thunder just gatekeeps it. Like Thunder does what that deck does like a million times better. But I feel like if Thunder gets hit, then we're gonna be back to the same problem with Orcust.
I agree. I think Orcust is definitely still a very powerful combo deck. It's simply out. It's just not as powerful of a combo deck as Thunder, and also a deck like Salad in the game that's very, very good at playing a lot of hand traps and grinding very well. It's just not showing in the meta right now. But I feel like if the other decks were hit partially, definitely Orcust could easily be a best deck in a format. It's an extremely powerful combo deck. Because like flaw it has is that you have to play so many engine requirements. It can be somewhat bricky, but I think it's still a really good deck.
I also think Orcust, just one last thought on Orcust and the existence of Thunder. I feel like because Thunder exists and it's the community's opinion that Thunder is the better of the two decks, Thunder has just been developed more. So the deck has evolved to become what it is now. But the Orcust deck hasn't really been developed. So like we don't know what that can become. We don't know where that could go.
I guess so. I feel like I don't know. I feel like it's very. I feel like Avery and Deuce back like right before Knoxville innovated it pretty well. I feel like that list is very like. I feel like now with Instant Fusion and like Striker, Trickster, I feel like it's been very standardized at this point. I mean, I suppose there's potentially like I see what you're saying. There could maybe be like entirely other archetypes you could play with Orcust because like there have been a lot of different like variants like that you can but I still feel like stay pure with the one card combo engines like the Striker engine and the Trickster engine are still just the best way to go. My friend and I have a joke that half the Orcust players in the country like to play a game called Find the Most Complicated Possible Way to Summon Nightmare Phoenix. Like you look at half of these Orcust decks and it's like, oh, Blackwing Orcust, like nice. Like, I would like to activate Ancient Gear Fusion summon my Ancient Gear Godilla Fusion Dragon, special summon my Ancient Gear box from deck in order to link summon Nightmare Phoenix.
Yeah, it seems convoluted, yeah.
But you could be right. Maybe there's some other archetype that really does have value in playing that hasn't been discovered yet. It's possible.
Shadows.
What about Sky? I want to talk about Sky Striker for a minute because like while Sky Striker feels slow and fair, we've had it for like over a year now, and I think because we've had that, Konami just wants to like progress the game. I think any format that Striker is good in is like a healthy format, but like, is it time to just phase this out and forget about it?
Yeah, well, not any format with Striker isn't necessarily a healthy format. I think when Kagari was at 3, definitely that the deck was so good with 3 Kagari that it definitely had to be hit, and like that was definitely like would have long term been a problem. But with 1 Kagari, I think the deck is so flawed now. Like you have basically going first with Striker, you have to see a way to engage and place 3 spells in grave on your first turn in order to really stay in the game. Like if either of those things don't happen, you usually lose. And
do you have a problem with multi-roll?
Can't grind. What?
Do you have a problem with multi-roll at all? Is that too unfair?
So roll is like is the only thing that makes the deck still viable remotely. Because once you've used your one Kagari, if at any point they break your roll and you don't have like going into your turn, let's say you don't have roll face up and you don't have any engages remaining and you've used Kagari, which happens very easily because you usually use Kagari turn 1, so if they break your roll, you usually don't have any recovery. If you get to that point, it's very, very, very hard to come back into the game. I as someone who played Striker for I think like 10 months, basically from September up until a month or two ago, the deck after the limitation of Kagari, the deck just was so badly. But now all of that said, to go back to your point of the deck's simply been in the meta so long, Konami might want to simply progress the game. I agree with you 100%. Generally, like every meta deck in Konami's eyes has an expiration date, and simply once it's reached that span of time in the meta, they generally hit it, so that's no longer tier 1 in the meta. So I think that I definitely could see that happening to Striker. I expect a small hit of some sort on the next list to that deck as well.
Okay, well, this is something I was just thinking of because we were talking about Striker. Mystic Mine needs to go to 1.
Oh god! Oh my god! You're right. The one card in the game that definitely needs to be banned currently is Mystic Mine.
Yeah, we just forgot about that completely.
That card needs to go.
I think it just promotes degeneracy. I mean, I love that card, but I love that card solely for the fact of like I don't want to win the game. I want my opponent to lose. Like it's not even a problem with the burn decks anymore. Okay, hypothetical, right? What if instead of hitting mine, we just ban the trap card?
Yikes.
I'd rather see mine.
Yeah. I'd rather see the problem than the card that searches the problem. Like, I just want the problem going.
Right. I think in general, and they've done that a lot in the past, where they hit card that searches the problem instead of the problem, and that just hurts all other cards that have come out prior and that will come out thereafter that could have used that searcher and now can't because they banned the card.
Yeah, I feel like I also like I kind of can't see Konami banning that card solely because I feel like Konami is a company that doesn't want to admit its mistakes, and they like just printed the card. So like I feel like banning it.
I agree. I don't think they would just ban something right away. I don't think it's even as much about admitting their mistakes as much as when if they can't with such an insanely overpowered and potentially unbalanced card like that, if they did that, they knew what they were doing, and they're not simply going to do that and then waste the opportunity to like have that card in the game for a period of time. I feel like when you have a card that's crazy like that, it's like, yes, eventually it needs to be banned because it shouldn't be in the game, but like the whole point of releasing it in the first place is to make it so that for a period of time players can play with that card and can play in, potentially different game states to what we're used to, or in the case of other cards, not just be able to enjoy those games with such a crazy overpowered card like that, or like Sixth Sense or something crazy like that.
Yeah, it gave stun players a chance.
But just not immediately.
It gave like the stun player or control deck players a chance to like build back the resources. Because like
because those are the people who are buying cards anyway.
Well, the thing is this. It's also
those are the casuals are the people who are buying the product.
Well, yeah, that's a whole nother conversation. But what I'm saying is like, I think it's like when you look at the game, right, and then you look at the common player or like the player who like the competitive player who like looks to do well at the event normally is gonna play like the best deck. So like Thunder's considered the best deck right now, and they're making god boards that like you can't really play out of. So like if you're a casual player and like you're what I'm saying, you're playing with the decks that you like. I'm not necessarily saying all casual players play with like lower tier decks, but a lot of casual players play with decks that they find more fun rather than, the competitive decks. So if you bring your deck to a YCS, a regional, or a local, and you're just getting blown out by like this Thunder player, you will eventually try to figure a way to beat this Thunder player. And then Konami said, yo, you don't have to figure it out. I got you. All you gotta do is buy 2 boxes, and you'll pull all these cards. And they're in their mind, they're like, all I gotta get is 2 boxes to be able to play, to be able to win. Like,
right?
Like to them, it was a no-brainer.
Are there any other generic cards that are like too strong on their own?
Pot of Greed.
Yeah.
The game has like
I
30
just
pot of greed
I
now,
just
though.
don't like cards that like alter the way that you have to play like the game. Not like sure Thunderboard like they can make
Yeah, you have.
their play, but like you're still able to
Yeah,
draw.
but
and do
you have to. Yeah, you have to dedicate somewhere in your deck to hate for mine, and that's just like ridiculous. You shouldn't have to do.
I'm just so not a fan of the type of game states that card produces. I hate game states where neither player can play, and those are exact because you just have to. And it's like I know, it's like yes, my opponent can't play either in cases, but like I would rather like us both be trading card advantage rather than both be sitting here waiting till someone just goes off, right, and explodes. I just very much dislike those types of games.
And then the part that also sucks about the Mystic Mine is that like if you're bringing in Twin Twisters and stuff, it's probably because like that deck is setting back row, so now you can't even dedicate your twins to hitting the back row. You have to hit the mine and another back row, and you have to hope that they don't have the trap to get the mine back up. So like,
yeah, fuck the mine. Fuck it. Goodbye. Good day.
But I agree though. I don't think Konami will hit it.
Yeah, I don't think they can yet.
It'll take maybe they'll put it at 1 first, maybe not, but we'll see. I could easily see them doing what they did in the OCG and start limiting and the trap, like you said, and before finally banning it.
Yeah.
Yeah, field spells have also just become like incredibly powerful too. And again, that could be a hit to the Trickstar Orchestra too. And so, and like a hit to like if you hit Terraforming again, you hit Striker too. So
I mean, I don't want to see that happen. I'm very much a fan of cards like Terraforming that like can be used in a lot, like very just like generic toolbox like deck building cards that can be used in a lot of different strategies. I'm a big fan of those types of cards. Which is why I was disappointed to see like Brilliant Fusion hit stuff like that, but I could definitely see them. I could see Terraforming at some point soon.
Yeah, I feel like there's so many good field spells dropping, and eventually they're just gonna have to stop they're gonna either have to cut Terraforming because it's just multiple copies now of these field spells. Now you have 5 copies versus like the 3, and like with the field spells being as powerful.
I like what it does for deck building though. I like what it does for deck building. I like what it does for. I like field spells as a concept. I really. And like not every deck has just like other ways to search them or other ways to get them.
Yeah, but a lot of these field spells are like blowouts. Like Zombie World's been Insider, like Black Garden, or like Mystic Mine. Like the cards are becoming like a blowout where it's like, oof. Like,
is there anything else that needs to be hit?
Like, I kind of agree with Paulie. I think we discussed everything that should be hit. I just hope that they really spice it up and bring.
Wait, there's one more card I want to talk about. There's one last card I want to talk about that I don't think should exist. I don't think it should have been printed.
Is it Sakuretsu Armor?
No, it is Super Polymerization. I don't think that card has any business being legal. I don't think Spell Speed 3 is fair.
It's like Spell Speed 4.
IMO. Yeah.
Judgment doesn't do anything.
Yeah, I don't think that's fair. I think that card should go. Goodbye.
I'm personally not like that's a card similar to mine. I'm not because I think it's like generally incorrect to play, or that's obviously dependent on the meta and dependent on the deck. But like in general, I'm not like I usually generally would rather side a hand trap rather than a card that allows them to build their board and then tries to dismantle it. Like so, probably I'm generally a fan of preemptive hits like with hand traps. So I don't think it's like I hate cards like that in my opinion aren't correct to play, but yeah also do suck when your opponent does play. So like
yeah,
if at that point it just feels like luck sacking, you know. But
everybody loves to
playing card you shouldn't be playing and get rewarded.
So I'm like getting a fresh.
We should probably wrap this up. I feel like this video is an hour long.
Yeah. Well, guys, thanks for tuning in to our Banlist predictions, if you want to call it that. We made a lot of bold predictions.
Part 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Of things that we think should hit. Yeah, this is the part 2, the Electric Boogaloo. stay tuned for part 3 once the ban list drops, and we give you our opinion on like what did Konami do correct and what did Konami not do correct, and
It'll be
yeah,
great.
it'll be
I have
great.
one last prediction. It's gonna be shit.
Everyone, goodbye.